Alright, I want you guys to be proud of me. I'm giving it another try. Uh, for those of you who don't know, the last run through didn't really work with this guy. The latest update on ATN's app crashed. The dumb thing crashed the interface to its app, and that's a big part of these scopes to some people, especially to me at times. But apparently we're up and running again, so we're going to try this one more time. ATN Excite 4K Pro. This is the 3 to 14 model. Nice little scope. This one is 2.2 pounds, which is 0.3 pounds lighter than the HD model. MSRP on these critters is $6.99. You can get them anywhere from like $5.50 to $6.50. It just depends on what your shop's going to charge you. You can find them on Amazon for relatively inexpensive. Man, this is a love-hate relationship to the max. The only reason I'm doing this is because people requested to see it, so I'm going to try it one more freaking time. Really quick, these are day-night scopes. They are completely digital. Basically just uses standard image intensification. And I mean, man, I'm sorry, I'm just so irritable doing this review. I just had a whole lot of problems. Their new update, every time they update their app, it seems like it breaks it. So I'm just a little grumpy right now. Again, this is a daytime, nighttime scope. I will get into the app a little bit later. Basically, this one uses image intensification, and it also couples it with like active illumination. They do send you this IR flashlight, of which I do not use. Mainly it's very thin. The battery life is not super great. It comes with this stupid Picatinny mount 30mm scope ring, again, which I do not like. I actually use the Streamlight TLR2 IR, which just goes on the base of my or goes on the bottom of my AR. And it works really well for me. It's got a lot better battery life. I use rechargeable batteries in it, and I've had better luck with it, is what it is. There's nothing wrong with this if you choose to use it. It's just important to remember that active illumination, whenever you use an IR, predators can see that. Depending on your use, someone else with IR can see that as well. For those of you who don't know how image intensification works, I'll just go through it really quick. I'll probably get some of this wrong because I'm doing a lot of this off the top of my head. But basically what it does is it takes incoming light from either like stars, moonlight, low light settings, and it's amplified. It basically hits a charged photocathode plate in here. I believe that's how these still work. I'm assuming that's how most of them work. Basically, it passes that emitted light through a vacuum tube. It hits a micro channel plate, and that causes the screen back here to illuminate. It's a lot like an old CRT TV. Instead of like the color guns that used to fire, this one just has that photocathode plate in there, and that's what does your light emission for you. Basically, it intensifies it because your power output is greater than what's coming in. So the photocathode plate makes it all possible. I'm assuming that's how this one still works. I don't know for certain, but that's how basic IR works. I have an old Russian monocular that I've used since I was a kid, and that's basically what this one does. Is it basically just intensifies incoming light. It also has a built-in IR, again, which is active illumination. And again, it's important to remember that they can see that. From what I understand, like the newer scopes, they actively charge that plate. The older models, you would hold a button for the photocathode plate. So on this one, it actually has a charging button. You can see that guy right there. It says power. But basically what it does is there's a battery in here and it charges that photocathode plate. The new ones have a built-in battery that does it for you, so you don't have to constantly keep charging it up, which is a very nice feature. And again, I'm not an expert on this. I did some research into it a couple years ago, and so Not everything's going to be perfect that what I say. In fact, a lot of this may have changed. But I do know that basically you have your magnification, incoming light, and then it just makes the power output brighter. The reason being humans don't have eye shine, so we don't see well at night. So we have to use things like infrared technology and photocathode plates to intensify that incoming light. We'll just get on to that. No one cares about that. You can skip through all this crap. But basically we're here to talk about the ATN Excite. This is the 4K Pro. Again, I do have the HD up here as well, which for those of you who don't know, I will be shooting that one as well because it got garnered a lot of attention. I will take that and do an in-field review of it because honestly this does need to be an in-field review because a lot of what makes these ATN Excites cool is that they use video capture technology as well. They can both record in 1080. This one does 1080-60. That one does the old ATN HD does. Mine does 1080-30. So I will do some in-field reviews of it as well, probably just with the HD. I do have another ATN HD down here at my feet in the old big bag. Jesus. Went to set it down gently and it still about broke through the floor. The reason I keep the ATNs, they are inexpensive. They do work very well. Again, this has become a love-hate relationship. Their app keeps breaking and sucking, and basically I had to uninstall the old app that worked just fine and then buy their new, or get their new app. It's free, but just, IT teams just make me want to lose my mind. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, we will kind of go into it. It is one touch. The old ones you did have to hold down the power button a little bit. Let me go into the Obsidian app, which they probably call it that for a reason, because it's a black rock that doesn't work. Let me connect here, and I will do my best to kind of show you some of it. ATN Excite 4K. Hey, it actually works this time. You guys have no idea how much hell I went through trying to get this to work last time. Again, we do have the Nikon Monarch up here, because this is kind of my benchmark scope. It's not the most expensive, it's not the least expensive. It's a Nikon Monarch 3, very, very high quality scope. Alright, Excite is connected. So, what we've got here, oh my goodness, look at all that glare. That's going to be kind of annoying, isn't it? Anyway, you've got your system menu, you can go to your environment, profiles, reticle style, gallery. Basically what we want most of the time, what I'm doing is the viewfinder. I may find a different way to capture this because this is awful. You can see, if I turn the scope around, you can see that she does, hey look, there's the old Sony Handycam box. Oh, it's so delayed. So you can see, watch, I wiggle, and then it starts wiggling. I wiggle, and then it starts wiggling. The old app was not that delayed, and that really disappoints me. See, where'd that Nikon, or where'd that Sony Handycam box go? Got her over there. Again, I will be doing a lot of this in-field. What's nice is you can zoom in from here, and then it just disconnects. And that is this scope in a nutshell. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at that. You got the Barn Owl project down there. Excite connected. Boom. Reconnected. Buffering. This is this system in a freaking nutshell and a half, guys. For those of you who don't know how long I've struggled just to get this to work, it's sad. Like, whoop, delay, whoop, delay. It's so obnoxious the way that this works. But anyway, whenever it does work, it's very nice. Again, you can go through your reticle style. You can change it after it buffers. I can tap my reticle style. I can tap my, oh my god. Oh, it's swipe. I'm sorry, it's swipe. You can choose whichever reticle you want. You got your ballistic drop, all those. You guys know this. I'll find a better way to capture this and take some screenshots. I just wanted to show you that I finally have it working. You got your profiles where you can set up everything. This one I don't believe is set up because I don't do a whole lot of that. Yeah. Hard yard profiles pre-logged in there. You can change your environment for what you're shooting in. It'll tell you your wind speed, your humidity, your wind direction. Basically, it's a super nice scope that works sometimes, and that's what's really sad, is whenever it works, it's amazing. Let's see if I can do that. Is that just going to break my camera? I'm feeling like, yeah, it's probably a dangerous thing to do. again, I will do an in-field review of this, but we just kind of wanted to get through the ins and outs of the 4K. Your zoom is now here on the side. You just rotate that knob forward. Power button, picture, record, all that. If you want to do the ballistic or the recoil recording, you can. SD card goes there. Charging port uses USB-C now to charge an internal battery, which I'm kind of fond of. I'm not a huge fan of internal batteries. Next time, just give me a system that I can pull out and recharge. The ATN Excite HD used to, well, at least my two, take AA batteries, so that gets annoying as well. I run lithium-ion batteries in them. I get about 4 hours to 8 hours of use, depending on how much I'm dicking with it. This guy seems to be like 8.5 hour runtime so far. Let's just get to the stink of it, which is practical uses. That's why it's called the stink of it. Stink, PU, get it? Haha, I'm funny. There's not a whole lot of uses for these that's practical. Hunting, coyotes is probably the best one. I'm not a coyote hunter. For people who want to record their hunting, that's really cool. Again, the image is not super crisp and clear. I will go out and record some images of this, so just stay tuned for a part 2. Sporting use, yeah, I guess. Again, I still prefer a non-digital scope. Like the glass quality from a Nikon Monarch. Again, these are not their most expensive lineup. I don't even think Nikon's in the scope game anymore. I think they retired the scope lineup this year. But the old Nikon Monarch, man, the glass that you get, the BDC reticle, the fit and function and everything, the glass is just so much better. If you're taking sub 750 yard shots, yeah, these are fine. Down here where I live, antelope generally is anywhere from 500 to 750, even out to 1,000 plus yards. So that's something to be aware of, including our coyotes. Coyotes, if you're calling them in at night, hell yeah, this thing works great. Especially if you're just using your phone. You're sitting down and you've got it pointed in the direction that you want. You got your phone on low light and you can just sit there and watch it. Yeah, you can see that coyote come in, then you can just shoot it. That's awesome. I respect that. But I struggle with just digital scopes in general. They do have their purpose. Again, for fun. They're awesome. You can record what you're doing. It's cool to show your friends. These have built-in rangefinders. They have built-in wind, elevation. Like, everything's built into them. And to that extent, sometimes they get a little freaking complicated. Like, whenever your app is that complicated to use and it lags out and it sucks. Like, I'm in my house where I should have excellent reception. My phone is literally, bam, right there. Well, this phone's right there. This is just a Samsung that I use. I also have that phone right there. But, like, this is the phone that I take with it because it's a linked Wi-Fi. It's an old Samsung S5 Galaxy, what the hell is this? The waterproof version. Active. Like, that phone's still powerful and they're right next to each other. And sometimes the shit just lags out. And it kind of sucks. So I usually, whenever I'm using these, it's as a ballistic recorder for me. I'll usually have the chronograph in front of it, and it's really nice whenever you can track your in-flight bullet path. It's really nice whenever I've got this directly pointed at the target, and I can see the point of impact. That helps me out a lot. I do it more for just sporting use. Again, mine's not for hunting. I don't do coyote hunting. I don't do crap like that. And I have actual hunting scopes for actual animals, game animals. Would I use it for game animal? Hell yeah, I could. I would probably get the old like 4 to 24 or whatever it is. This one's 3 to 14. It's kind of low on zoom, on magnification, but you could use it, especially if you're in like a wooded area. Again, beware of the crispness of the image. I will show you some images. The crap that they always show on the website is like this super clear image. That's just a picture that a photographer took and then overlaid like a green color to make it seem like, yeah, this is what you're looking at. It's not what you're looking at. It's not, trust me. I've used these scopes for 10 years now. My original ATN Excite HD has been with me for 10 years. So, like, just beware. The image will be grainy at times, especially the more magnified you go. Now, the nice thing about this one is it is fully adjustable, so you do have front adjustment, you do have rear adjustment, so you can at least crispen up the image. Again, that's an awful lot of work at that point. This one does have the 30mm tube, which is nice, so you can put actual rings on it. I still have the factory rings on there. Don't use them. I would recommend like the Burst Extremes or like a Leupold or even the any other nice scope mount rings. Sorry, this one. These are a little janky. They're not my favorites. They seem to be really poor cast aluminum. I know you guys can't tell. I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but I think they just threw them in there so you could have this guy. And this thing is so big and cumbersome that I don't use it. And again, I'm glad that it came with that. The original ATN HD, it comes with a carrying case. The new ones, for whatever reason, like this Pro here, really disappointing, just comes with a freaking box, man. Like, come on. And they do give you some goodies in there, don't get me wrong. You've got your little eye cushion. Now, the biggest thing to remember about these, folks, please, if you are going to use this and you're using it on anything more than a 223 or your child's using it, please drill out these holes. Punch out these holes quite a bit bigger. For those of you who don't know, if you compress these rapidly, they do not compress. So what happens if that does hit your eye whenever it's sealed up to it, you will put a lot of air and pressure behind the eye that is incredibly dangerous. So cut these out further. There's one on each side if you are going to use these. I personally don't, but they're great for a nice little sunshade if you're having trouble seeing it. But it's just a friendly reminder. Again, I have the Excite HD up on the Marlin 3030 that I built, and I do not use the little eye gooby thing because I did it once, and it's very dangerous, and it hurts. It does come with a nightshade or a sunshade as well. This one I do recommend. They're awesome. They work just fine. Screws in, especially for me. I get a lot of heat waves, and I get a lot of like over sun. Out at the hill, we have way too much sun, and that's where I do a lot of shooting, so I will throw on the sunshade. Just as a reminder, though, 100%, if you are going to use these, please drill those holes out for the safety of your children and for your own eye. It's a really good way to actually ruin your eye. Again, you put this on like an AR-10 or even a nice hunting rifle, even if it's a 243, it's got a little more kick than a 223. It's just something to be aware of. One bad shot can compress a lot of air back behind your eye and even into the eye, and it's dangerous. So where do we go from here? It's a super short review because, again, most of the testing will be infield with the HD. I may even throw this guy on for you guys, just so people can see the recording differences and everything. It'll be a longer video. They'll all probably go on the 3030 TAC that I built. I don't know. Again, it's a love-hate relationship with the company. I think there are a lot better options out there, but for an entry-level one, this one's pretty dang good. It's much crisper than the old HD. The one thing that can be said is these are not that durable. You've got to be careful with the internals on this. You can see here's where all of your electronics for the most part are housed. There are some in the tube as well. But for the most part, all of your electronics are housed right there. So it's not up to snuff. It's something to be aware of, that if you are hard on stuff, if you are hard on stuff, you might consider the HD, because basically whenever you're talking about like image intensification and stuff, the photocathode plate in the HD is protected, and it's just something that I've always been concerned about. That specific Excite HD actually survived a trip down the grain bins with me where I just about died. I went to step across from one grain bin to the other, and I missed the step, and I went straight down, and I actually split my eyebrow open. That thing was attached to my 300 Blackout at the time, and it actually survived the fall. I thought it was completely destroyed. I called ATN up, and they were like, hey, just do a factory reset on it. We're pretty proud of the internals of that, so I did, and it was just fine. So just something to be aware of. Like I said, the photocathode plate in this one is relatively exposed. I mean, it's housed in here. It'll fall. You're not going to break anything if you just dump it. But the ATN Excite HD is much more durable, and it's less expensive. So if you're not super worried about like the 4K image, so they say, you might consider the ATN Excite HD. Just a rule of thumb. It's just something for you guys to be aware of. Yeah, this isn't going to be a very long review. It just garnered some attention whenever I was showing the firearms up on the wall here. And so I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do a quick review of it. I was able to get the app up and running, which I will just take screenshots and show you all the options. That way you guys know exactly what's going on, so you can see through the images there. Again, there are better options, but they are far more expensive. I'm not going to get into it. Everyone has their preference on night vision. Great entry-level product. That's why I own 4 of them. I'm not a hardcore night vision guy. I do have night vision. I have a set of night vision binoculars that are kind of more my forte for just spotting and enjoying the looky-loos. This one, you know, if you're talking about a world without rule of law scenario, still no. I just don't think it's that good. I want you guys to be aware that night vision is night vision. It's limited use. The best thing about these is that they're also a daytime scope, and they're fully digital, so you're not going to damage anything in there if you flick the night vision on during the day. That's just what makes these scopes so universal, is that daytime, nighttime, go for it. It's fun. And I think that's what it boils down to, is these scopes are just meant for pure joy. And they do that. They do fit that bill. I wish ATN would get their shit together on their app, because it's been the bane of my existence since it came out, like 8 years ago or whatever. So just be aware. Be aware of the shortcomings. Be aware that night vision is not all it's cracked up to be. Thermal, the ATN Thor, would definitely be more practical use in certain scenarios. But again, they all have limited use. That's why the military is going to night vision goggles for the most part, or a monocular with a swing away mount or a roll away mount, because they are more practical. Us civilians, for those of you who are hunting coyotes, chilling out, hanging out, yep, this dude is awesome. You want to record yourself shooting throughout the day, yeah, that's totally freaking awesome. I support that. But just know your limitations. All in all, do I like them? Yeah. Are there better options? Yeah. But I own a lot of these, so they can't be too terrible. Just know your limits. So, again, guys, hang on for the actual in-field review. I promise I will show you this lovely in full. You can see she's all beat up from all the horrible things that have happened to her over the years. But I will get back to it, I promise. I will do a full in-field review, and if I need to, I'll swap this scope out onto something. I'll throw it on one of my ARs or something, and we'll do a side-by-side. That's just about it. That's going to wrap it up. That's a lot of opinion. There wasn't a whole lot of facts. There wasn't a whole lot of like technical information. That's available for you guys to find on the internet with quick looky-loo. Hell, I mean, they do a good job of even just stamping out all the information on the box. So I didn't want to get too deep with this. Just some opinions on this one. If you like it, you like it. Try it. If you got a friend who has one, definitely look through theirs first, because it's still a big investment. $550, $650. That's still a lot of money. It's for me anyway. Especially whenever I can go out and buy a really nice scope. You can go buy a freaking Nikon Buckmaster still, or a Burris for, you know, $150, and it's like, hell, that's a really nice scope that works. I'm sorry it doesn't record, but you know, we got cameras for that too. So if you want it all in one, there you go. Give it a try first. So there is my quick and very brief review of the ATN Excite 4K Pro 3-14. Good luck, God bless, and I will see all you dudes in the next video. Bye-bye.